I turned on the lights, and silence greeted me. The chandelier glowed across the polished floors. The wine glasses sparkled. The table was set for 12, but every chair was empty. My family hadn't come, not a single one. Instead, my phone lit up with photos, smiling faces around my sister's new car, champagne in hand, toasting like she'd cured cancer. That was my family, my blood. And they chose her shiny toy over the house I had built with my own two hands. That was the moment I understood I was never their priority. It wasn't new. As kids, she was the star. I was the shadow. She got applause for grades, gifts for achievements. I got silence, sometimes scolding. When I bought my dream house, I thought maybe, just maybe, this would change things. An invitation to gather, to celebrate together. A chance to prove I was more than the afterthought. Instead, I got an empty house and a text from my mother. "Sorry, honey, your sister's unveiling her car today. We'll catch the next one." The next one? Like my life was a rerun they could skip? As the lights hummed above me, my phone rang again. My father's voice cracked through the speaker. "We need to talk, now." That tone, urgent, commanding, like I was the one who had disappointed him, like their betrayal required my explanation. I didn't shout, I didn't plead, I just listened. He spoke about family, about loyalty, about how I should understand. But I'd understood for years, too well. I hung up and sat in the quiet. No rage, no tears, just clarity. They thought they could ignore me, and I'd keep crawling back. But I had something my sister's car didn't: permanence. This house wasn't a trend, it was a fortress, a weapon. So I built my plan brick by brick. The first move was the deed. I rewrote the ownership documents, clean, airtight, untouchable. Every room, every square inch, in my name alone. No cosigners, no family clause. The second move was the trust fund my grandfather had left behind. They thought it was long gone. What they didn't know was that he had tied it to property ownership. Whoever held the deed to this estate controlled the trust, and now I held both. 2 weeks later, I invited them again. This time, they came running. Cars lined the driveway. Laughter filled the hallways. My sister paraded through the rooms like a queen, already making comments about her future space. I watched her fingers trace the marble counters, watched my parents nod in approval, watched them assume that once again I would be the generous sibling who handed everything over. But I wasn't here to hand anything over. I was here to lock everything down. Dinner was served. I raised my glass. "To family," I said, my voice steady, almost warm. They smiled, relaxed, certain the balance of power hadn't shifted. That's when I laid down the truth. The deed, the trust, the money, all of it. It's mine, legally sealed, irrevocable. At first, they laughed. Then the documents hit the table. Official, stamped, signed. Faces drained, forks froze mid-air. My sister whispered, "That's not fair." "Fair?" I said. "Fair was you all choosing a car over a home. Fair was you leaving me alone in the house I built while you toasted leather seats and horsepower." My father's jaw clenched. My mother tried to soften her voice. "We didn't mean," but I cut her off. Calm, cold. "You meant it enough to leave me standing in an empty room. So now I mean this. You will never touch a cent of this fortune. Not the trust, not the house, not me." They argued, they begged. My sister slammed her hand on the table. But I had already won. Because revenge isn't about shouting louder, it's about cutting deeper. And nothing cuts deeper than being shown what you lost while the person you underestimated holds it all in their hands. When they left, they didn't slam the door. They shuffled out, silent, defeated. Their empire of favoritism crumbled in one night. And me? I stood in the doorway, the same spot where I had once waited for them to arrive. But this time, I wasn't waiting. This time, I was watching them leave. I don't need their approval anymore. I don't need their applause, because I learned something that night. Family isn't defined by blood, it's defined by who shows up when the lights turn on. And they didn't show up. So I shut the lights off. For them, forever.